Alright, hopefully this time we don't get DC'd.
Hostiles detected.
Dude, look at that! What the f game? Where's the turret? I can't even pick it up. This is f***ing hardcore, dude. And that's what you guys are doing. Look at that. My goddamn turret just f***ing stuck in the f***ing thing. Can't do anything. You f***ing dumb motherfuckers. Can't imagine why Ubisoft's failing. Can't even get your f***ing 8-year-old game right. Let's try this again. Hardcore mode. What a f***ing failure, dude. You guys f***ing suck, Ubisoft. This shit, dude. Look at that f***ing retard. Oh, I can pick it up from this side. Not the side I dropped it from. Alright, we got it done, but holy shit, man. Yo, what's up, agents? How y'all doing? Hope everybody's hanging in there, being as safe as you guys need to be. I know it's been a minute since my last video. Unfortunately, bear with me, I'm a little bit under the weather today. But, so first of all, I haven't put up any sort of content in a while because I just didn't feel like there was anything I could add. There's a lot of guys that are, currently putting up the content. I didn't want to recycle anything, so I just figured, you know what, I'm just going to wait. On top of that, luckily and amazingly, just before the holiday season, I just started getting super busy with drum work. So I'm playing with 5 different bands right now, a couple other things going on, so it's keeping me incredibly busy. That's why I'm actually able to make this video. Since I'm under the weather today, I don't want to go to any rehearsals and get anybody sick, chilling at home, and it finally gives me time to talk about something that I haven't seen anybody really cover. Back before the Mutiny companion situation rolled out, some people talked about it, there were some ideas. But looking into it, I haven't seen anybody talking about what traits, what talent combos, which one of the companions to use. So I don't know how long this is going to be around, but I wanted to go through my opinion of it since I've gotten a chance to play with it a bit. I actually do dig the companions for the most part. There's a couple of little things, that I think could be worked out a bit. And I also have some ideas how we could actually upgrade this, improve upon this system moving forward. And hopefully this would be something that we would be able to choose and actually utilize moving forward. In a lot of ways, this to me was similar to Diablo 3 with the 3 different companions we had there. And so there's a lot of similarities there that I can contrast this game and Diablo 3. But that being said, thank you so much for being here checking this out. Do me a favor, if you dig this, smashing that like button would be greatly appreciated. If I haven't already earned your subscription, hopefully today is the day. And do me a favor, if you have any comments, leave them down below for me. Alright, now we're just going to quickly go over our 3 choices for our companions. First of all, we have our Assault Companion. I believe this is the first one you get when you start out. They have decent damage. They're going to have a good amount of health, and they have the most armor of anybody. So, in my particular case, my Assault Companion has 72,000 damage, 411,000 health, and just over 6 million armor. So, pretty tough. So they do good damage. They got their RPG, which has a decent area of effect, and they have a good amount of toughness. So, just a good overall pick. The RPG, initially at level 1, it will also create a 5-meter bleed to anything caught in the damage. So at level 2, your RPG is going to do 15% more damage, and the explosion is going to be 7 meters. At level 3, it's going to be plus 20% damage, in a 10 meter radius, and it will also cause burn. So next we got our technician, our mechanic, whatever you want to call it. So the technician actually does the most damage at 124k, only has 360k life, so that has the least amount of health of anybody, and has 4.9 million armor, so right in the middle as far as the armor goes. Now, the command link for the technician, it puts up a turret that will stay around for 20 seconds. At level 2, the turret will do 15% bonus damage, and at the expiration of the turret, it will explode in a 10 meter radius, causing an EMP. And at level 3, it will be buffed up to 20% damage, and the turret will fire explosive rounds. So once you're at level 3, which most of you will be at immediately, this is what I'm talking about. That plus 20% damage in explosive rounds is why I don't care so much about the Mech Hunter, negative 15% to humans. That turret still is going to chew through them. Plus the fact that the technician does the most damage per shot, 124k versus 72k of the assault recruit. He's still doing more damage even with that 15% loss than our assault companion would do. All right, lastly, we got to talk about the medic. So the medic does the least amount of damage. In my case, only 54,000. He does have the most health at 617k, but has the least amount of armor at 3.1 million. So the medic does the least amount of damage. Really, the medic is only for support. To maximize the benefits of the medic, however you do it, you have to pay more attention. The only way that you can kind of fire and forget with this is just the fact treating it like it's your reviver hive. So if you don't like running with companions, I'd still maybe recommend just choosing the medic and having him run around and just do whatever he does, but be there to bring you back. So the medic, his command link, he'll put down a support station, very similar to the Division 1 Reclaimer support station. It's got a 7 meter range. It lasts for 20 seconds. He'll heal you, revive you. I believe you don't. You're not affected by status effects in it, if I remember correctly. And I even think at some point... here it is. Yeah. So at level 2, it'll increase it from 7 meters to 9 meter radius. And it gives you shock ammo. So anybody within that range will have shock ammo during that time. And at level 3, it will increase the range to 12 meters. So almost doubling the range of it. And it will... on expiration of the support station, there will be a 20 meter shock pulse. So all the enemies within 20 meters. That's a pretty decent range on that. So the medic is pretty nice. And again, even if you don't ever use the support station and you don't like companions, you can always just choose the medic just to be there as your default reviver hive. All right, I just now quickly want to talk about what I think are the pros and cons of the companions. So as I just alluded to, there's no need for a reviver hive. You can use any one of the companions will bring you back. So it doesn't even need to be the medic. Any one of them, you can just call them over when you go down. I do think that this is a fun change for people who run solo. It gives you something else to, grab the aggro. So that's a big bonus right there. Just, something. And if you spec into high threat, it really does help to pull aggro away from yourself. So if you're just running around trying to have a good time, this can be of good benefit. That, of course, will allow you to play more aggressively. If you have a companion grabbing aggro, things aren't shooting at you, you can shoot more things or do whatever it is you're trying to do. But it just gives you the option to play more aggressively. It also, if you want to use your companion in specific ways, it opens up cool new ways to play strategically and tactically. So you just got to get used to it like anything. But, I might even try to do a run where maybe I'll go through all the missions with literally just seeing if I can get a companion to take out everything. Where I won't shoot anything, I won't use any skills. Can the companion do the job? So that might be kind of fun. And the other pro is I think this opens up a lot of future potential. After the Mutiny is gone. I think there's other ways we can upgrade this. The way that the companions look now can be upgraded, and there's some other cool ideas. So what are the cons of using the companion? Well, let's face it, the AI will do some weird stuff sometimes, so that it can be hard to tell what's going on. One thing I've noticed is oftentimes I'll use a command, my command skill, and there's supposed to be a cooldown, like a lockout time before you can start building it again. I've had it where the command skill is just locked totally out, where it just never starts building up again. So that might have been a lag thing. Maybe it was the server I'm on. I don't know, but it's been quite often that that's happened. So that would be nice to get that fixed. Another thing is, as we mentioned, one of the great things, you don't have to run a reviver hive, but I've had quite a few times where the AI will just stop reviving. Not that it was a status effect or anything like that. It'll just come, start reviving, then stop and walk away. Similar to what the officer at control points, if you ever had that happening where you went down, he starts reviving you and then just stops for no reason. Same thing. The AI does have a habit of pushing me. There's been times that I've been walking, all of a sudden I'm moving really fast. There's times the AI has bumped me out of cover, so I've taken hits that I otherwise wouldn't have taken. I don't think I've actually died to it yet. But yeah, so that's a little inconvenient. I have noticed it can be hard to control. I'm on console, so just everything being with that up button, at times it's just hard to get the companion to do what I want to do. I imagine this is much easier on keyboard and mouse. I imagine you guys don't have that problem at all. But on console, let me know if you guys who are on console have that issue. Now, here's one that's subjective, and maybe you don't have this problem. But one of the hardest part is finding the actual talents I want. You know, one thing at the beginning of each week, I go through the safe houses to see what's there. Those are going to be the same all week long. So I check those out. If there's nothing good there, we got to count on the outside world just running into a companion that just happens to have a talent combo we want. So that being said, another thing when we're out and about doing stuff, just hitting square button next to a companion at the wrong time, you can accidentally recruit a companion. So I wish there was a safeguard, so once it started, it asked you, are you sure that you want to recruit this companion? Something so I don't accidentally delete, swap out a companion that had the perfect set of talents for a companion that had shit set of talents. It just happened to be somewhere near me as I'm fighting an enemy. We kill the last enemy, he goes into neutral mode, and I'm trying to reload or something, and I hit square and recruit it. That's not good. And then the one other con we have right now, which I'll talk about in a second, is once we get to level 3, there's nothing past that. And I wish that we had ways of actually equipping our companions, at least to agree. I'll talk more about this in a moment. But, it'd be nice if at level 4, right, you can equip a companion with a weapon, one of your weapons that has a talent, and maybe at level 5, you could equip, maybe a chest piece or a backpack, or a chest piece and a backpack, something like that. So you can add a couple things to it to make your companions more customized and build them in a specific way. So I wish they had that. All right, quickly talking about the talents. As you guys have probably seen, there's a whole bunch of talents that are available. I'm not going to go over all of them. Here they are on screen right now, but I'm going to go over the ones that I think are worthwhile, the ones that are worth chasing. You may find some utility out of the other ones. Again, this is just my opinion. And do me a favor. If you have a combo that I don't have listed here, that I haven't recommended, that you think has some practical application, please list it in the comments down below. Hey guys, I'm in post-editing here, and I had accidentally edited out the part about Glass Cannon, the #1 superior perk for the Assault Recruit. So, Glass Cannon gives you plus 25% weapon damage and negative 30% armor. This can be mitigated with some other combos, particularly Juggernaut can be used with, I believe, any of the recruits, so you may find this useful for your technician or your medic. Next, we got High Profile. This will give plus 50% threat and plus 50% armor. This, once again, this can help work in Glass Cannon. You can also use it with Juggernaut. In fact, for a really powerful tank, obviously Juggernaut and High Profile would be great. They'd have that plus 50% threat, 85% armor, and negative 20% movement speed. Great tank right there. Now, the next talent that I think is worth looking at is Executioner. If you can get the combo Glass Cannon Executioner, that would be nice. Executioner, any enemy that's under 20% health, you have a 20% chance to immediately kill them. This can be nice. However, there's times when maybe you don't want your ally to be killing the enemy. Maybe you want to proc something. So I see where this could actually get in the way, but the combination of Glass Cannon and Executioner would be a pretty nice combo. To the same degree, something like Long Range Operator, where you do 20% bonus damage to any enemies that are over 20 meters away from your ally, is a pretty decent damage bonus too. Glass Cannon and Long Range Operator would work good, especially if you can get your companion to stay 20 plus meters away. Alright, agents, now I want to talk about the talents that I think you should be looking for. For each one of the companions, I listed 3 different sets. One for support, one for if you want to try to have your companion do DPS, and then a balanced variation. So let's quickly go over. So for the Assault Companion, for support, I would recommend going with High Profile and Juggernaut. This will give him 85% bonus armor, 50% threat to take the aggro off of you, reduces his movement speed by 20%, and this will essentially give you a tank. So for DPS, real easy. Glass Cannon plus either Executioner if you want to take out ads quicker, or Long Range Operator if you want to maximize the damage that your Assault Companion is going to be doing. And probably the one I recommend, I'm still looking for this, I haven't gotten it yet, but this would be and will be my go-to when I get it. Glass Cannon plus Juggernaut. So this will give us that large damage bonus. We will still end up with a slight armor bonus, and we will only have a that 20% movement speed deduction. So I think overall, the Glass Cannon Juggernaut is the best of both worlds, but if you really want to go with the support build, the high profile Juggernaut, I don't really recommend using the Assault Companion for the DPS. Even though you can get that Glass Cannon Long Range Operator combo, you're still going to be doing more damage with your Technician if you want to go that route. So just choose the Technician Companion if you're worried about DPS. Alright, so on that note, let's talk about the Technician. So for the support option, I got to go with the Grenade Operator plus Frag Grenades, because tossing out 3 grenades at a time that cause bleed to all the enemy is awesome. It's fun to watch, it's just silly. Is that the build I'd recommend? No, but it's fun. As far as DPS, and this is totally legit, if you want to go with DPS or balanced, I think either are just as good as each other. So DPS, you want to go Mech Hunter and Long Range Operator. This will make you do an insane amount of damage to any robots that are further than 20 meters away, and you will still be getting a net positive damage to human foes as well. And with the amount of damage the Technician does, you're going to be plowing through things. Now, if you want to go for a more balanced approach, this is what I'm running right now. I'm running with the Mech Hunter and Efficient Operator. This means I do the bonus damage to robots, a little bit less damage to the humans, but I get my command link back 20% faster, and the turret is what I really use to plow through enemies. That 20-second duration of the turret going off, dude, it will put out some good numbers. So if I ever do the companion only run through where I don't do anything, the companion is the one that does all the damage, I'm obviously going to be using the Technician for that one, and I will probably be using the Mech Hunter Efficient Operator just to try to keep the uptime on the turret maximized. Alright, lastly, let's talk about the Medic. So the Medic, I would actually probably recommend the support version of this build. That's what I'm running, and that's with the Triage Train and Combat Stimulants. That's just making sure we're getting the max amount of healing all the time. Now, if for any reason you want to try to build a DPS Medic, by the way, don't. But if you absolutely want to do it, maybe go with Contingency Response. This is where you'll do 10% more damage to enemies under a status effect. They'll do 10% less damage to your Medic. Then you can go Combat Stimulant, so you're still getting that constant little bit of regen for you and your Medic. And then the balanced one is would be probably Combat Stimulant, so you're getting that constant little bit of healing, and then Hazard Train. And this means regardless of the situation, since the Medic doesn't take any damage over time, as I was mentioning before, he can come into a fire and resurrect you. The only thing you want to make sure of is that they don't resurrect you to immediately go back down. Again, just really quick to talk about it. The number one companion for me is the Technician, and I think the most well-balanced version is the Mech Hunter with the Fishing Operator, just to keep maximum uptime. But if you get lucky enough to find Mech Hunter and Long Range Operator, that's going to be pretty much the max damage that I think any companion is going to do in the game. Alright, thanks guys. I'm trying to keep this short in every one of my videos, I just keep going. So moving on, now I want to talk about what do I think would be the next incarnation of this. What would I like to see moving forward, the next iteration of companions in some sort. So number one, I do wish that we could lock in our companion. If I were to get the perfect, say I found my, the Mech Hunter Long Range Operator Technician. I wish I could save that in as my primary Technician, but then I could still, say, pick a guy up, pick up another Technician, try him out, and if I wanted to, replace the other one. But if I decided I don't like that, I could just swap back to my other main one. So basically have one variation of each of these companions saved, so you could try out other variations to see, is this new set of talents equal to or better than what I already have? That would be really cool. The argument now is, well, you have other characters, right? So you can try them on other characters. Yeah, that's great if you can find what you're looking for in the safe houses, but if you're finding them randomly out and about, you don't have that luxury. Next is the idea, and I think this would be awesome. Looking back at the Division 1 weapon system, I would love it if we had a third talent. In fact, I think it would be great if you were to upgrade beyond level 3. We talked about, level 4, level 5. I think it would be great if at level 4 you gain access to a third talent, which can be re-rolled. You effectively can cash in companions or something like that, similar to our bench, where we'd sacrifice weapons to get that 15% weapon damage or whatever that we can then use over and over. Sacrifice companions to save talents so we could try to build the perfect companion. That would be great. It would extend the gameplay. It would really spice it up a bit. So moving on from there, one thing that I really wish they had was aggression settings. You could turn up or down how much your companion interacts with the enemies. So many times when I'm trying to run from one location to another, like say I'm running to a bounty, the Krampus stuff that was going on recently, I'm running to that bounty to do it, and my companion keeps running over and engaging with other things that I obviously don't want anything to do with. I'm trying to stealthily just run by and go do this objective, and now I'm having to deal with other shit. And I wish that there was a slider that would basically go from do not interact with anything unless I literally command you to attack it, to kill everything you see, right? I wish there was a gradient in between everything there. Because right now, it's just, the companion's just fucking Wile E. Coyote doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, and I'm not really a fan of that. Okay, next, as I mentioned, I wish that we could equip our recruits. Again, I wish we could upgrade level 4, level 5. In fact, I'm going to up this very much like Diablo 3. In the beginning of Diablo 3, the followers could only equip so many things. I've already mentioned earlier in the video, if we could equip one weapon and maybe a backpack and a chest, because they have talents to build upon our companion. Well, what if at level 5, you could literally deck out your companion with all the pieces of gear you want? You could put gear sets on your companion. Maybe those don't work, but you could put brand sets on your companions, and it would actually buff them a little bit, right? Things like that. Add weapons that can proc talents. There's so much room for improvement there, and that leads to the last thing that I'm considering right now. And again, anything that you guys think that they can take from this and implement moving forward, please list it down below. But here's my last idea. We got 4 characters each. I think it would be awesome, since we're already talking, I'm talking about, okay, you have a companion that you can put all your stuff on, all these talents. What if your first character could have your second, third, or fourth character come into the game as your companion? So you have a fully AI controlled, and we know they could do it because they have the hunters that have all the skills and stuff, right? So I could my first character is my skill build character, my second character is my armor build character, my third character is my DPS character. It would be awesome if I could just decide I'm playing my fucking standard skill build character that you guys are generally seeing most of the time, and there's my DPS character running around using all the awesome gear I built up for him, running around with my other character. I think that would be great. I know maybe that's a little over the top. I know that's such wishful thinking. It's just my opinion. I think that would be great. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I may have missed. Let me know what your experience has been utilizing these companions. Alright guys, so hopefully, I'll find some time to make content more often. I really appreciate all of you that came back and checked this out. Y'all be as safe as you need to be out there, and we will check you in the dark zone. Peace out, everybody.
Is she okay? She's okay. I'm bringing her home.
Oh, good. Oh, thank God.
See you soon.
I hate guard duty.